I thank the member from St Hilda's for their speech, and I now look to Aimee Challenor to continue the case for the proposition. Thank you.
Mr. President, honourable members, it is a massive honour to be invited to take part in this debate tonight on such an important topic in a union that is world-renowned for its honour of debating and once called the bastion of free speech. And in fact, it is an honour to be at these dispatch boxes which used to be in the House of Commons, and as I am standing in the upcoming election, perhaps it's a sign of things to come. I would like to start tonight by looking at the motion at hand. This House believes the university must be a safe space, as both my honourable friend in the proposition and the honourable member in the opposition have agreed upon. In order for this House to argue for or against the motion, we must define a safe space. Safe space is a space where people are free from aggression, abuse, intimidation. A safe space is a supportive and safe environment for people. Yet, most universities' attendees frequently hear hate speech, and it is not uncommon for students to feel unsafe and skip lectures or even full days of university to avoid the abuse, bullying and harassment they face. But small steps can make a big difference. For many students, simply knowing that this abuse will not be tolerated can allow them to re-access education and to grow their potential. Now, the esteemed opposition may fret about safe spaces stifling free speech, but that is far from the case. As a member of the so-called Generation Snowflake, I'd say it's important that we debate key issues of today, as we are doing here. But we should do so in an environment that has structure, rules, and allows minority voices to be heard. That is what safe spaces aim to achieve. They may try and highlight examples in other universities where they've been silenced, yet often people who claim to have been silenced by safe spaces complain about it in international press. They've said before that no one is willing to debate them about this, yet here we are here today. To allow safe spaces is to encourage a diversity of perspectives. Because certain comments aren't allowed, it's argued, you'll only receive one viewpoint. Yet the opposite is true. Making a safe space for oppressed groups to come and be comfortable enough to contribute to discussion and debate means that the issues that matter to everyone can be debated from a wider perspective. Think about it. If a space isn't safe from transphobia, it's unlikely that trans people will contribute to that discussion. If a space isn't safe from racism, it's unlikely that people of colour will contribute. In unsafe spaces, privileged voices are more likely to dominate the discussion. Safe spaces mean that certain voices, marginalised, often underrepresented voices, get a chance to speak without fear of hostility. So now we know that safe spaces allow more people to engage in the space and contribute to discussion. But what about sensitive topics? By adhering to the rules of safe space, all of the participants of the conversation, discussion or debate are saying, hey, I respect you and your opinion, and I want to talk about this, but let's not hurt anybody. It's allowing a difference of opinion and a debate to happen, where all participants can take part. This is also where trigger warnings, also known as content notes, come in. They give possible attendees the ability to know the themes of debate and discussion so that they can make an informed decision whether or not to attend. Adding trigger warnings and giving people that ability to make an informed decision does not remove the ability for debate or discussion to go ahead. It does not restrict the freedom of speech for speakers, so it's a small positive step that could protect people from harm. Of course, it's easy to paint safe spaces and trigger warnings as a new snowflake Tumblr thing, but they're not new. It's just that discussion and attention on them is higher, so more people are aware of them.
Point of information.
Go on.
Given that the determination of what constitutes offensive and triggering is often done by highly privileged individuals, wouldn't you say this actually shuts out the possibility of the subaltern and underempowered minorities to shock and to anger, and often the only way for them to achieve social progress is via making the privileged individuals upset? Wouldn't you say you shut them down and therefore cause them to lose traction in terms of social movements and the ability to contest politics?
I can understand your point of view. I would disagree with it on the grounds that if we allow minority voices to come to the discussion, to the debate, so they can give their opinion and be heard, that is having their voice heard so that they can be empowered to make change. And as I say, of course, it's easy to paint safe spaces and trigger warnings as new, but for an example, this morning before I caught my train down to Oxford, I grabbed 2 DVDs off my shelf. Johnny English Reborn, which says quite clearly on the back next to the PG symbol, contains mild language, violence and sex references. And the other one was Queen of the Damned, rated 15 for infrequent strong language, some mild language, some strong violence and some strong vampire horror. The Pan-European Game Information Rating System, known as PEGI, has specific warning markers for violence, bad language, fear, sex, drugs, discrimination, gambling, and online game. It's not restrictive to give people a choice whether to attend or not, to give people a choice whether they wish to engage in a debate on these sensitive issues. It's not stifling free speech to ensure that conduct and rules are adhered to so that everyone can bring their opinion and their experiences to the table. It's not hard to do, and it gives everyone the ability to take part and grow their potential. It's about positive engagement and making sure debates happen in an appropriate manner. So I would implore you to support this motion because it's about giving people choice, it's about safety. Thank you, Mr. President, and thank you, honourable members.